Hiya! Today I'd like to share with you unboxing of something really exciting that I actually won on Instagram. So this video isn't sponsored, but I've been sent this for free because I won giveaway on Instagram. And I will also test out with you my new paper. Just because I need to use this medium on something. Before we get into it, hi, my name is Kama. And welcome or welcome back to my channel. I'm a mixed media artist and I make all kinds of illustrations, comics, printmaking, everything and anything to do with art. I probably tried it or will try it at some point. And today I'll be trying something brand new to me. I've never tried it before. It was on my bucket list for art supplies. So I was very excited when I won this. So let's get into it. It came in this box. Well, it came in a different packaging, but the box was inside it. And it's, if you know this brand, you will kind of guess, you probably can guess what it might be. Ta-da! It's a set of paints, and these are, unlike any other paints that I've ever tried, they're tempera paints, and I think they're made with egg yolks. Or egg whites. I've seen people make them by hand, like from pigments and things. And I think I'm expecting something slightly weird and unusual, but yeah, can't wait to try this. So excited. Maybe I'll tell you a little bit about the brand. I don't really know them very well, I haven't tried their paints before, but I do follow them on Instagram and I've been following them for a while. And they make lots of watercolors and they are really lovely paints, at least from, what I've seen them on their stories and posts and reels. They seem really nice quality and granulating. It's this account, Nevskaya Palitra. I'm not sure how to read this. I'll link their profile in the description of the video, so you can check them out if you like. Ta-da! And the paper. Sorry about the noise. Okay, I think we're ready to start. The paper I'm going to use is something that I picked up very recently in a local art supply shop. And it's Goldline Aquapad. It's 300 GSM and it's an A4 size. It's cellulose paper, which means that it's a bit more affordable, but I quite like using it overall. It handles water quite well and it's by Claire Fontaine. So yeah, let's get started. I already took out some paper earlier. Okay. I also need a palette, which I don't have, so I'll be back. Okay, through the power of editing, I cleaned my palette. Okay, let's add some water. Okay. So we have, I won't number my swatches today, actually. We have titanium white. And when all these paints, I think apart from the white, say pro, which I guess means they're professional quality, I hope. I'm not quite sure what that means. While I do this, I thought I'll ask you, my dear audience, have you ever tried these paints or are they on your list? What do you think about them if you've tried them? I always love talking about art supplies, especially ones that are new to me. It's always fun. And I love to know what you're into as well. There are also different series on them. This one's series 1, and I guess this is all in Russian, but I think it's series 2. And I'm not sure what the color is. I might have to Google translate all the colors because they are all in Russian. So yeah, oh, there it is. Okay. On the one side, so all of them are Pro, and on the one side it's in Russian, and on the other side it's in English. We have cadmium yellow. This isn't a hue, so I imagine that's not that great, but I don't know enough about paints. This one's cadmium yellow middle, series 2 as well. This one's cadmium red light. A lot of cadmiums in this set. This one's Mother Lake red hue. Then we have Cobalt Blue. I was just reading this text. It says St. Petersburg Masterclass 1934. I'll have to look into this and see what that means, whether it's like whether it refers to like this color, this set, I mean. Yeah, I'm not sure. Like I said, this is the first time I'm ever using this brand. I don't really know much about it. You have to excuse my throat, my coughing in the background. I've got a bit of a cough. This one's Cobalt Blue. There are 2 Cobalt Blues in this set. Not sure why. They are the same. Then we have Emerald Green. Ochre light. Burnt sienna. From what I've seen, it's really hard to find good videos about these types of paints, but from what I've seen, they seem to be quite transparent, so I'm interested to see how they will look. We have Raw Amber, and this one's series 1. All the other ones, apart from Burnt Sienna, and this one doesn't have the information, so I'm not sure. All the other ones are series 2. This is Raw Amber. It's a weird one. Like, the consistency of this paint is a bit different than the other ones. And I imagine this is some kind of black. Lamp black, which I think is a really dark black, like a really deep color. I used a lot of it. I'm going to try and paint these swatches as birds, because that was one of the suggestions in my previous swatching video. If you'd like to watch that video, I'll link that up in the description below. I swatched all my acrylic gouache by Holbein and a few other acrylic paints. But yeah, and I asked the audience, I asked you what suggestions you had for future swatching sessions, and one of the suggestions was birds, so I'm going to do that. And in fact, I've been practicing this bird shape recently, so I think that would be, yeah, I'm excited to try it. So the texture of the paint is a bit different. It's kind of similar to gouache, not very similar to like watercolor. Just make sure that I'm in shot so you can see what I'm doing. gonna have a drink. Okay, so this is the cadmium lemon. I quite like the consistency. It's quite a thick paint. And I imagine you can dilute it with water as well, which I'm going to do in a second. This bird came out a bit strange, but I don't mind. Weird is the best, after all. Okay, let's try a more watery one. Just to see how they compare. It's still very pigmented. I'm impressed so far. Okay, I had a little distraction, but I'm back. So as they dry, I can see the color changing a little bit. So this is much more transparent than it appeared before, like when the paint was wet. But it's still quite opaque, to be honest. I might try and wet in wet later as well. So this one's cadmium yellow medium. In the previous video, I also asked you whether you preferred the colors grouped by, like, basically grouped by color, or whether you prefer them grouped into, like, cohesive, like, color schemes. And I think the suggestion was that you preferred the colors grouped, so like sort of in order. So that's what I'm doing now. I don't know if I'm making sense, but similar colors next to each other, basically. Cool. I kind of like these wonky birds, you know? Okay. I'm going to also try wet in wet here. Or rather dropping water into the paint. Just to see the sort of effects you can get from it. I don't know, in all the videos that I saw of these kinds of paints, the paint looked very gummy, but actually it doesn't look that gummy when I'm using it here. It feels and handles very nicely. So that's interesting. Obviously I'll need to try it a bit more to get the proper feel for it. But so far my impressions are very positive. It's almost like gouache. Oops. I think there's a bit more water than previous swatches. I'll add more paint to this. Interesting, the red one is definitely a bit different than the other ones so far. It's a bit more translucent. Almost like granulating in a way. Cool, the next one is, can't read it, Mother Lake Red hue. It looks very different on packaging, but in the palette it looks... Oh, I put two of the same next to each other, a mistake. So these two are cadmium red light, and this is Mother Lake Red hue. This one definitely looks weird to me. Maybe they started drying a little bit. But also I think some of the reddish pigments are a bit different. Like the only gouache that's gone funny on me over the years, the professional gouache, is kind of similar to this color. So I wonder if it's just the nature of the pigment and how it reacts to, I guess, air probably. I don't know, there's something relaxing about using these paints. It's either that or I'm just excited. Who knows? I might be biased because I won the giveaway and I'm really happy to hope to be able to try them. I was going to say I don't like this bird, but actually I'm embracing the wonk. Wonky is good. Oops. I think this one was a bit too thick to make anything. Let's add some more water to it and see how that works. That's better. I don't want to speak too soon, but I feel like this is exactly what I wanted from paints, and I've been trying gouache and watercolors recently, but this gives me the consistency that I kind of want. I wonder if these paints are light fast. I know nothing about it. So it's a Masterclass Tempera. It has a strong hiding power, is opaque, and has high viscosity. It uses polyvinyl acetate, PVA. Oh, that's glue. As binder, and it's produced on the... I can kind of smell it a little bit, so I might need to air the room in a minute. And it's produced on the basis of high-quality pure pigments, including those based on cobalt and cadmium compounds, which ensure excellent permanence, light fastness. Okay, so this packaging claims that these paints are light fast, which is good. So that means that they should be able to be used as on finished pieces. And I really want to start making finished pieces, so that's exciting. It's good to know. They ensure excellent permanence, light fastness, and unlimited opportunities for getting new shades. Colors dry fast and evenly and form a permanent matte layer. Once completely dry, Masterclass Tempera cannot be reactivated with water. Dissection of the paint is possible during the long storage. Shake tubes before use because pigments are heavy and they can often sink within the binder and therefore separate. So far I haven't noticed any separated ones, but perhaps maybe when the paint is a bit more used, like there's less in the tube, maybe I need to shake it. But I think I got lucky with this. I just started panicking because this, once it dries, I probably won't be able to clean it, so I'm going to speed up. I didn't realize they were permanent. So they're a bit more like acrylic then, which usually puts me off paints, so yeah. I literally just said that I love that I found them, but we'll see if I use them more often. I'm generally scared of paints that when they dry you can't clean them off your palette or paintbrush. just this fear of damaging the materials. But yeah, this blue is a bit strange. It's the cobalt blue. I do have like a Stay Wet palette, which in hindsight I could have used. And I also have like a Tear Off palette. But it's too late now for this. Okay, this blue is either weird or dried off too much before I started using it. I'm embracing the wonkiness of these birds, like I'm literally trying to be freer with them than I would normally be. Okay, this paint is a bit strange. Just made it a bit more wet, and now I'm going to drop water into it. Yeah, there's not that much that happens. I'm going to start cleaning the ones that I already used, maybe. Or am I panicking? I don't know. I just didn't expect them to be the way they are, I guess. This one's cobalt blue. Oh yeah, there were two of it, right? Well, too late now. I added a lot more water and diluted it more. And it does handle differently, so I think I was just a bit slow. I should have used it quick, like sooner after opening the tube. Yeah, putting it on the palette. Such a weird thing. Maybe people use this cobalt blue the most. Guess it's like a sky color. But normally you'd get like a slightly different shade. Rather than like two of the same. This one's emerald green. Oh, very deep green. Lovely green. Very saturated. Okay, then we have ochre light. Oops, they're too close to each other. This one feels really nice. Like, it's got a nice texture. Okay. That was a lot of paint. I'm going to drop some water into these. Okay, the next one is burnt sienna. Okay, this paint definitely needs a stay wet palette because I'm struggling to like make it have the right consistency now. I think it's just dried a bit too much. Okay, we're almost at the end. Just the raw umber. And we've got the lamp black. Which has gone a bit muddy. Oh, that's very deep. Like completely black. I don't tend to use like pure black colors in my work, but if I ever need to, that's an amazing coverage. Like this is literally, I don't know how to describe it. It's also very matte, which helps it. It literally absorbs light. Can't even make it like diluted enough to be a bit transparent. Really nice effects. Okay, we only have white left, and I'm just thinking the most likely one, like the one I want to try it with, is this red, but I think I want to try it with blue instead because that's the color of sky. I also try the blue with just water, just because I want to play with it. Okay, let's try it with white. That's a lot of white. Like that's a very light color as a result. I love pastel colors like this. That's my jam. So yeah, this is lovely. A lovely combo. Let's try adding it to red as well. Or orange. Let's mix it with orange, like this combination of white and red and blue with this orange. I'm just curious. I'm still kind of not very experienced with mixing colors. This is sort of muted terracotta kind of thing. Interesting. I didn't try blending it, I guess. Let's try this with... So this one's cadmium red light. No. This is the Mother Lake red hue. And I think as with other kinds of paints, adding white makes it a bit more permanent. Like, it makes it more opaque, sorry, I meant. Let's add a bit more white to it. I was counting on like pinkish, but it's just sort of lighter red. I guess, yeah, to be expected. Cool. I'm going to try sort of blending two colors together. Let's just try this one because it's very watery on the palette. Such a deep color. And let's blend it with this one. Not the best combination, but we're testing like blendability, I guess. I'm not quite sure if I'm doing this right. It sort of works. Meh. I'm not a good person. I'm not very good with this. Which ones would work? Maybe green and yellow. Green and yellow, yeah. Let's start with yellow. Maybe add more water to it. That's weird. They don't really... It looks kind of bad. One more thing I should test is putting a color on top of another color. But don't know which one's dry. Maybe this is a bit drier, on the drier side. So I'll pick something that will really stand out. Maybe like this. And yeah, it's quite watery, which normally doesn't work very well, but I'm going to give it a go. Yeah, as expected, it's a bit more transparent. Yeah, I think there's too much water in this, so let's use this one instead. My water has gone really muddy. And oh yes, I was going to do wet in wet, which isn't the best. I don't have the best water for it. But given that it's like literally the last swatch I'm going to make here, I think we can live with that. Okay, so I added a nice big puddle. I love this color, so let's just go for it. Look at that. It's such a cool effect. There might be too much water. That's pretty interesting. I really need cleaner water. This has a little bit of graphite in it, but I think I'm going to do another test. Yeah, that's a lot better. I think that would be a better test. Again, I added a lot of water. I think this is okay. Let's try again. Oh my god, it really explodes on the page. It's so cool. Okay. Because I like how this looks, I'm also going to try some caddy paper. I think I know where I have it. Maybe. No. Where is it? I recently moved it somewhere. Oh, there it is. Just going to move it away. Okay, and with caddy paper, it's very... Oh, okay. Caddy paper is very good for wet in wet, so that's what I'm going to do. I decided to make it a bit cleaner with water. Okay, I've got a bit of water left here. Sacrificing my drinking water. Just make it dirty. Okay, let's give it a go. I'm quite conscious of the paint drying in my palette. Let's make it wet first. Caddy paper is a handmade paper made in India, and it's really affordable, and it's got a lot of character. Like, this is from where the paper was drying. Oh, that's weird. I thought that was one sheet. And it handles a lot of water. Like, I've really saturated it, and it's still kind of handling it pretty well. Okay. Are you ready for this? Hopefully it will be as good as the other one. Look at this. It's like an explosion on the page. That's unexpected. That's not how I thought that these paints worked. Let's try orange. It's bright, nice and bright. I know it's not technically orange. It's the cadmium red. Really nice effects. And there was a bit of dryness here. I feel like once I drop black, it's the end. This will be weird because it's got white in it, but let's try it. It definitely isn't as quick to explode. Okay. And this umber. I'm curious what will happen when I drop one into the other. It still works. Yeah, that's a fun experiment. It's a very relaxing activity, actually. I recommend it if you're having a stressful day or something. It's really nice to just watch paint on caddy paper, wet and wet. Okay, that will be the end of it. I'm anxious to clean the palette. I hope you enjoyed this swatching. Oops, I just put my hand in the puddle of paint. Here are the swatches. I love the blue. I love the textures of the blue. They're very matte, as promised. These are still, some of these are still wet. Sorry, I was moving it a lot because I was trying to spread the paint in the swatches, but I just realized it's probably not the nicest thing to watch. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this watching. Let me know what you thought. I always love reading your comments, and I respond to everyone, always. Thanks again for sending me these paints. I always forget the name of the brand because I mix it with someone else. And Nevskaya Palitra. They are really interesting. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. Excuse the noise. I'm just decided to ignore the noise in the background. Can't help it right now. Yeah, all my usual links are down below in the description. You can find me on the internet as Weird is the Best. I also have an Etsy shop if you're interested in that. As always, please leave me a comment down below and like and subscribe if you haven't already. Have a lovely day artsing, and until next time, bye! So now you should see a link to the next video on my playlist where I'm testing art materials. So be sure to click to that if you're interested in seeing more. And see you there. Bye!